Joe Mauer wore our white and purple MIN hat while he was blowing the Vikings horn. The work you do today is you're not gonna see the results of that tomorrow. You're gonna see it 6 months down the road. You're gonna see it 12 months down the road. Just one Scheels with 2 SKUs, and now we have over 50 SKUs and 28 Scheels nationwide. If it's not a product that I wouldn't use or I don't believe in, it's not something that I'm gonna put out. We've done towels now for Live Golf, for their Pro-Am. We're working with the Junior PGA, doing almost 10,000 towels for a gift for all the junior golfers across the U.S. It's Pin Hunter's Golf Co., but it's more than a golf hat. It's really a lifestyle hat.
Welcome back to another episode of Rethink. And today we have one of our favorite guests. We've been looking forward to having this guest on the podcast for a while now. We have Matthew Paul, the founder of Pin Hunter's Golf Company. So Matthew, man, it's great to have you here.
Yeah, appreciate you having me, guys.
We're excited just to chat about your brand and your success and kind of how it started and where it's going and everything.
Yeah.
In terms of content as well, too. So thinking about it, obviously the hats. Boom. Bold.
Yes,
pretty
sir.
bold. We love the hats. Kind of tell us more about the hats and how that kind of started.
Yeah, the hats have been definitely our biggest seller, especially at Scheels in Eden Prairie and sort of all over the country now. But it started with couple styles like the one you've got on. It was one of our first ones. We did that, and then we did that same style in a few different colors, sort of Minnesota colors, trying to play into the local themes of what people like and that sort of thing. And we pitched them to our guys at Scheels. They loved them, brought in some smaller quantities, and then this was around November, so right before holiday season and stuff. And they really just took off. People liked that. It was a new sort of young brand that they hadn't heard of, doing designs and stuff that they had never seen. And yeah, it was great. We sold tons and tons of them, like more than we could keep in stock, leading up to Christmas, sort of those couple weeks leading up to it. And it just sort of took off from there. And we started doing other styles like this one. We've got Iowa, we've got North Dakota, and now we're even doing Arizona and Colorado. So
cool. You said you had a guy at Scheels?
Yeah, well,
did you know a guy that was there?
We were in Scheels with our golf towels before the hats, and in sort of the golf accessory department, and then talking with them, we got them in the golf section and then down in sort of the sporting goods section as well. So working with a couple new people at Scheels to sort of spread them throughout the store, and they've been great to work with ever since. Like the people at Scheels are so understanding, and being a small business, they're just great to work with. They sort of guide us through the process, and for someone who's never done much in retail like myself, they've been really, really helpful through this whole process. So yeah.
Scheels.
And what did that look like getting into Scheels?
Is it an email or is it a phone call?
We got in first. My co-founder and I, he walked into the Eden Prairie Scheels like 20 minutes from our hometown, and we had 2 towels at the time. We had this white Minnesota golf towel and then like a USA flag golf towel. And we just walked in, he showed him the products, talked to the golf accessory guy who happened to be there at the time, sort of told him our story, like, hey, we're college kids, we're doing this golf thing, we're local. And he liked the towels and agreed to bring in a really small quantity. And then like a week or 2 later, we got word that they had just been selling really well. Got 8 or 9 reorders shortly after, like following that, just small quantities, and then they'd sell through and another small quantity and selling through. And then eventually got up to the national Scheels golf buyer, who got us into a few more stores in the Midwest. And then 6-8 months after that, we started to really expand nationwide into Texas and Colorado and Arizona and some of the bigger Scheels markets. So it's fun to just watch it sort of like slow, and then you start to see it go.
So it started in that one Scheels?
Yeah, just one Scheels with 2 SKUs, and now we have over 50 SKUs and 28 Scheels nationwide. And
what's a SKU?
Just like a product. Like, so this is one, that's a different SKU.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like just one thing on the shelf.
Yeah. It's a term I didn't know.
Yeah, hey, there you go.
So thinking about kind of like the origin story, how did this idea come about? Have you always kind of had an entrepreneurial mindset? Thinking back to your high school days at all?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Even before high school, my dad and I were just talking about this recently, but like when I was a little kid in elementary or middle school, he would ask me for like the idea of the day, and it'd be some invention or some like sort of product or thing that I thought should exist, or maybe it did exist, but I just didn't know it at the time or something. And so I had always been sort of like had creative ideas and wanted to do something entrepreneurial. Like I always knew that deep down. And then I was in business clubs throughout high school, like DECA and those sort of things, sort of learning a little bit more about how business and commerce and everything worked at a very, very basic level. But the more I learned about it, I just became more and more interested in it. Went to school at University of Wisconsin in the business school there, sort of still trying to figure out like what path I would go down. And then after my first year at UW, one of my good high school buddies, well, childhood buddies, and I decided to sort of explore like the world of Amazon and FBA and all the different e-commerce sort of things there that I think a lot of people go through when they're sort of starting their entrepreneurial journey. Watching a ton of YouTube videos, looking at podcasts, trying to figure out what's working for people. And so that was how it started initially. We started it as a Amazon first golf towel brand because we both love to golf. We realized like golf towels was a relatively outdated market or niche specifically within golf, and no one was doing anything fun with it. All the towels on the shelves and all the towels online were these poor, like single color, not modern at all, like designs or anything. And so we just came up with a couple of fun designs. We did a USA flag, a Minnesota one. We did one with the California flag and the bear on it, and then sort of a Vegas themed towel. And our plan was to get them on Amazon, do FBA, so they would handle all the inventory and stuff for us and ship it out, and we would just have to run ads and drive people to it, basically. Throughout that process, obviously learned a lot, like through sourcing manufacturers overseas and communicating with guys in China and all over the world, honestly, to try and find a good manufacturer. I think one of the biggest blessings and sort of the backbone of our business still today is that we work with the same manufacturer for our golf towels that we worked with from day one. Okay. We did a pretty thorough like sampling round, got like 10, 12 different samples, and really narrowed it down from there into a final round with 3 different manufacturers. And through that whole process, just paying attention to who's good at communicating, who's on time, who understands sort of what we're trying to do, and ended up landing on our one guy over there in his company, and we've been working with them ever since, which has been huge. But going back to sort of the journey of it all, we quickly realized like Amazon is a massively competitive industry with people who their full-time job is to increase the ranking of these products. And so as 2 college kids who had no experience with it at all, we realized like we're in for either a lot of competition here and we have to learn a lot, or we could sort of pivot. And since we had this great relationship with a towel manufacturer at the time, we went to some of the local courses and did custom designs for them. So the Chaska Town course was probably our biggest, most notable one at the time. We did 200 towels for their club championship in 2023. Sort of a new fun design on our nice microfiber towel, and people loved it. Like it was given out to all the players of the club championship, and being local Chaska guys, it was a great story too, to sort of weave in there and tell people, and that gave us proof of concept that like, hey, we really actually have something here with custom towels. And so sort of replicated that throughout other courses in Minnesota, doing basically door-to-door sales, calling courses directly, going to some in person and sharing like, hey, here's what we're doing. Here are some of the towels we've done. Got some product into the course at Mystic Lake, the meadows there, and then Deer Run, and then some of the Minneapolis city courses as well, which was a great start. Really gave us confidence that, you know, we can continue to do this. And then we're still like very part-time doing this whenever we had a little free time, but it was incredibly like inconsistent. And then about a year, maybe 18 months ago is when it really started to pick up, and we started getting more significant orders and sort of building a name for ourselves in the custom towel space. And that sort of led us to the hats, and then here we are today.
I got a question.
Yeah.
I'm not as like a regular guy. I'm not like a big golf guy.
Yeah.
I just look at a towel and I just see a towel. It's like, what do you think stood you apart from the other towel industries?
I think the designs are really what sets us apart. Now we have a magnet that attaches to our towel, so you pick the towel up with your club, or you stick it on your cart, which is a great feature. But I think the real reason people are attracted to our towels and purchase them is for the designs. A lot of it is we work with country clubs with sort of a destination course or a really high-end course where if you're playing out there, you want something to sort of commemorate your time at that course. And the towel with their logo is really the perfect way to do it. And you keep it on your bag, and it shows that you had been out to that course and reminds you of that time and that sort of thing. The events is another one too, where like charity golf events and stuff. We'll do a charity sponsors and the event name, and people will get it as a gift, and they'll get a functional towel that they'll carry on their bag for years to come, which it's great ROI for the sponsors and a nice gift from the charity for the outing or event. So
That's awesome. And you mentioned you guys started to see that pick up pretty quick. What did that look like as far as sales or numbers? Anything you can give us there?
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like you do so much work without seeing any results.
Yeah.
Like you're constantly putting in time into the foundation and really building stuff, and you're just not seeing anything, and you're doing outreach, and then it's almost like a snowball where like you keep putting in the same amount of work, but then you start seeing the effects and like the fruits of your labor from the work you've been doing over the past 6 to 12 months are finally coming to fruition now. And so you're getting like people just reaching out to you like, hey, I saw this towel that I got as a gift. I would love to do something for my company. And then it really just starts to expand and like an exponential growth almost, because you're getting out and you're doing all the right things and not seeing anything, and then all of a sudden it really starts to come.
Yeah, I love that you're talking about that, because that's delayed gratification.
Exactly.
And did you learn that kind of growing up, or is that something that you had to learn growing your business? Or you obviously stuck with it.
Right.
So was there like a feeling in the beginning where it's like, okay, I believe in this product, I'm not going to give up on it? Or was that kind of taught to you in that process?
I think it's something that you sort of just learn over time, or at least I did, through playing sports, through school. Playing football is a great example. I think you go through all these summer workouts and you do all this practice for hours and hours a day, and it's all for 8, 9, 10 games a year where you see the results of it. And so you have to do things that they work, and you can't see the results of them immediately. But it's Simon Sinek, I think, talks about it too, like quite often. He's like, if you keep eating leafy greens, like you're going to get healthier, you're going to start to see that, but it takes different time for people. Like some people will see the results of working out and eating healthy very soon. And for other people, it's going to take a long time, but we know it works. And so I sort of was able to apply that to what I was doing in terms of outreach and posting on social media and stuff at the time, and just trying to share the word of what we're doing, because I know one day that work is going to pay off, even if you don't see it right away. And I think it's like that for all industries too. I worked in Nashville last summer as a commercial real estate intern, and one of the brokers would always talk to me about that. He's like, this is an industry where the work you do today you're not gonna see the results of that tomorrow. You're gonna see it 6 months down the road. You're gonna see it 12 months down the road. And so if you're lazy, if you're sort of slacking, you're not gonna feel it immediately, which is kind of dangerous, because you get into a slump and 12 months down the road, you're like, oh crap, I have no leads. I have nothing going on. And so that's why I think it's so important to be consistent and just constantly put your head down and do the work, even if you're not seeing immediate results.
That's really good. Yeah. No, that's a big thing for every industry, right?
Yeah.
It's huge. So you've introduced like a lot of new products. What goes into that innovation and like your thought process behind that? Interesting.
I think a lot of it is it's a culmination of like what I'm seeing and also like what I would want. Like I design a lot of or hats or towels based on like what I feel is like actually a good quality product that I personally would purchase, or I know someone would purchase. I don't design it like based on like, oh, I think this market would really see it well. Like it has to be something that I genuinely believe in. And if it's not a product that I wouldn't use or I don't believe in, it's not something that I'm going to put out. I think our scrub brush is a really good example of this. We launched a water scrub brush where it's perfect for like cleaning your clubs. The water goes in the handle, you squeeze it down, and then you wipe it on your clubs and clean them off. And we launched a V1 probably a year ago. I was prototyping it for a while, and I finally got it to a place where I was comfortable with it, and I was using it every day. I was like, every time I would golf, I would show the people I was playing with, like, you guys need to have this. It's great for your clubs. It's great for performance. Like, it keeps your clubs looking brand new. And when guys are spending $1,500 on a set of clubs, you want to protect that investment. And so we launched these brushes, and then we got feedback over time, like, hey, this part sort of like isn't the highest quality construction, or the string, it came with a retractable string that would attach to your bag. And like if you overused it, the string would sort of wear down over time. So I've been working on this V2 that we're sort of preparing to launch. And it has metal string. It's a one-piece construction. And it's like, I realized that the product that I was using wasn't good enough. And so I made it like a product that I would want to use every single day. And I think that speaks to like anything that people are doing. If you don't genuinely believe in what you're doing, it's not going to be something that you can buy into long term and really succeed in.
The passion drives the product.
Exactly.
Where did that passion kind of come from? Do you think has it always been golf or
No? So that's very interesting. You bring that up. I didn't golf at all like before COVID. Like I said, I played a bunch of high school sports growing up. I was always like hyper competitive, always competing at whatever it was, like sports or like playing with my friends in the classroom or video games or whatever, like always competing. And my whole friend group was like that. And then when we graduated, like mid-COVID, we had nothing to do. We graduated from high school. We're not playing high school sports anymore. Basketball is done, football's done. And we needed something to fill that competitive void. And so we joined this Youth on Course sort of golf program. For people under 18, you would get $5 tee times at specific courses around Minnesota and I think the US now as well. But we would go down to ridges at Sand Creek in Jordan and play golf like 2-3 times a week. We were all horrible because none of us golfed. But we were all like, competing, trying to get better. And then I sort of just fell like in love with the game, was addicted to going to the range, and my whole like Instagram page was just golf swings and tips and tricks that how to get better. And so I'd sit at the range and film my swing and then look at the video and try and like figure out what I was doing wrong. And then my little brother, he played high school golf at Chaska too. And he's like way better than me. So that like the drive to compete with him and get better than him is another reason why I've put a lot of time into it. But over that process, I just fell in love with the game. I realized it's a great like mental competition with yourself, and it's something you can play your whole life. And so I realized like I would love to have a business sort of around this game. And after freshman year of college, we started a golf towel brand.
Yeah,
so.
Nice. So you made a product to make you better at golf, basically.
Sort of, yeah. I guess so. It's a good excuse to get out on the course and take product photos and stuff and play a lot lot of golf if you own a golf business. So.
Yeah, you started taking too many divots. You're like, dang, I need something to clean my club.
Yeah.
That's funny, man.
Yeah.
Who's the better golfer between you and your little brother?
Oh, he's still got me, I think. It's getting close, though. It's getting close. He's a little washed. And I worked at a course then during high school. During the summer after high school, and saw sort of like how the pro shop worked, how people were interacting just like on the course, and what they would buy when they would come into the pro shop. And then that like put me onto the business of golf a little bit and gave me some good background as to how things worked, but still figuring it out day by day, far from where I want to be in terms of what I know and all that stuff. So
that was almost like your market research.
Yeah, I guess so.
Figuring out what would work.
yeah, I think that's why I've been able to stick with it and like haven't really got burned out at all. It's just because like golf is a game I'm passionate about, and working in an industry that you're passionate about, it doesn't really feel like work, because you're constantly on the phone with golf professionals or merchandisers or people who are all related to golf. And so when you can sort of speak that language all the time, it's like it's kind of fun. Like it doesn't feel like I'm working a 9 to 5 that I dread or anything. It's I get to work and talk golf with people. Just fun.
That's awesome. So then, for people looking to start a brand new product company, what would be like the top 3 things you would recommend they do?
Interesting. Yeah. I think one, it's got to be something you're passionate about. Whether it's something like, you don't have to be an expert in it. You don't have to know everything or anything about it. But it's got to be something you're passionate about. And for me, like being an avid golfer and being around golf at the time when I started it, allowed me to understand what people are looking for, sort of what the golf culture was like and how people bought products and the type of products they were looking for. So I think you need to be passionate about your industry. Second, you just have to have a long-term mindset. Like in today's day and age, and a lot of what I see on social media, like drop shipping and all these sort of get rich quick things, none of that's probably gonna work if we're being realistic. And you gotta accept the fact that like good things take time. You're gonna have to fail a ton. You're gonna get like told no so many times before someone tells you yes. But if you know that going in and you can just brace yourself and anticipate that, then when someone tells you no, it's like, all right, that's what I was expecting, on to the next, and hopefully they'll tell you no, yes. And then third thing, I think you have to be just a continuous learner. Like adopt the growth mindset of like, I either win or I learn. There's really no losses. So if you go pitch a product or you go pitch investors or whatever it may be, and they tell you no, I think there's sort of 2 ways to react to that. One, you can either just like sulk and be sad and be like, oh, they said no, like this is going to be a failure. Or you can learn from it. You could study it, be like, hey, what did I do wrong? What can I do to improve next time? And then if you're constantly getting better and better and better, regardless of if you're winning or losing, or saying yes, if people are saying no, you're constantly improving every single day. And I think that's the biggest thing that you can do. Is just always be learning, always be getting better, and have that growth mindset.
That's awesome.
Win or learn. I'll get that tatted on me.
That's good.
That's a good one, bro. Have you heard that from anybody, or is that just kind of your shtick?
Jalen Hurts talks about it, I think. Eagles QB. Okay. But not in the business sense. So I think there's a ton of parallels between sports and business. They're both so competitive, and to an extent, they're both sort of team games in a way where you're working with people, you're collaborating with people. And so growing up and playing sports, I think is one of the best things you can do.
I feel like I can tell that with you. You had that passion for sports, so you kind of combined it into your business model. Do you have any other? So I know your hats. They kind of represent teams in a way. Was that?
Yeah, I think like
it's
more of a location thing and like sort of showing pride in where you're from. A lot of like the hats and stuff that I see that are like location based, they're directly tied to a team or sort of a brand of some kind. And I think like the way that we've gone about our products, whether it's the towels or the hats, it's all like a way to showcase where you're from, but in like a subtle and fashion forward, fashion positive way. Like you're not wearing like these outrageous like logos and branding of the team. You're able to sort of showcase it in a subtle way that you could wear it with any outfit. Like you don't have to just wear it when you're going to some sort of sporting event or something. Like we saw our waiter at the Crooked Pint downtown wearing one of our Minnesota hats just to work because it's all black hat. He's wearing black outfit. Like I think that speaks to the fact that it's more than just like a sporting thing. Like it's Pin Owners Golf Co., but it's more than a golf hat. It's really a lifestyle hat.
I like that.
Yeah.
Have you seen people with the hats outside of like in public? I've seen a lot. I've
seen a couple. And then when you post like at the Vikings games and all these things, people always wearing them.
Yeah.
And some pretty big names wearing your hat.
Yeah, that's one of the coolest things is like seeing my buddies or just people I don't even know wear them. Like my dad was in London a couple months ago and saw a guy wearing our purple MIN hat in London. Like it's crazy the places that they've been. But yeah, the biggest one I think was Joe Mauer wore our white and purple MIN hat while he was blowing the Vikings horn at the start of the game back in December. And when I saw that, I was like, holy crap, like that is like big time.
Is that surreal a little bit?
That's a great way to put it. Like completely surreal. Almost put me in like shock. I was like, there's no way like this is happening. And then I get like texts from all my buddies sending me pictures of the TV on ESPN. And it's like,
that's gotta feel so good.
Joe Mauer. It was, that was insane. Such a cool experience. And it's the little wins like that sort of just keep you going.
Yeah.
Like you'll get so like down and like you'll be like, oh man, is this really worth it? Like, is this going anywhere? And then you'll get a good like positive thing like that really gives you some reinforcement, and it's like, all right, we can keep going. Like this is cool. This is worth doing. So yeah. But seeing people wear the hats or seeing people like have the towels on their bags, like when I'm golfing, it's crazy. It's awesome. Amazing. Yeah,
that's cool. Do you see any direct sales from something like that or no?
For sure. And I think that's something I want to get better at too, is really capitalizing on those moments where we do have like a big publicity thing, whether it's like our live towels or something, they get shown on TV, or we get like, we're doing towels for a course at the Barstool Invitational golf tournament's going to be at. And so like being able to capitalize on these moments where there's already attention and then our product's like involved as well, being able to share that is something that I definitely need to get better at on social media and sort of sharing that story more, because that's what people enjoy. They enjoy seeing that.
Yeah, what are some of those other big wins that you've had? Yeah,
so the Joe Mauer thing was crazy. That was definitely like by far the biggest thing for me personally, just seeing like a Minnesota legend at a Vikings game wearing our hat was crazy. But we've done towels now for Live Golf, for their Pro-Am. We're working with the Junior PGA, doing almost 10,000 towels for a gift for all the junior golfers across the U.S., which is super cool to see. And working with the PGA is one of the biggest milestones in golf. I mean, they're the top of the top. Working with a bunch of like very cool foundations, Make-A-Wish out in South Dakota, Montana. We're working with Folds of Honor down in Texas, doing towels for them. And then some of like the premier courses around here that like I grew up dreaming to, or like people would love to play these courses, like Hazeltine, Interlaken, Wayzata Country Club, just to name a few. And then we're working with Big Cedar out in the Ozarks, so Paynes Valley, Tiger Woods' course, we did towels for. And that's where this Barstool golf tournament's going to be at. So
sweet.
It's very cool seeing our name out there with some of the biggest names in golf. And I'm very grateful for it. Like never thought we would be having this conversation talking about those wins, but
that's crazy.
You never know. You got to again do the work and it'll come.
Yeah, and I mean those wins don't come without a ton of failures. So,
right.
So what are some of your biggest kind of roadblocks?
Yeah, gosh. I mean, it's so many little things that it's like, it's hard to, like, I don't try and forget about them, but I don't really let them just like hang in the back of my mind. Like, I think you just have to move on, because you know you're going to get caught up on so many things, whether it's you completely, like you ordered way too little inventory and you sold out of something, or you ordered way too much. Like there's inventory that we have that like we ordered probably way too much of it, and we're sort of stuck with that for now. But you just got to learn from all the little things. Like I had no retail experience coming to this. I had no manufacturing experience. We've gone through a bunch of different like hat manufacturers trying to figure out what works, and spent a lot of money like with failed samples and certain things like that. But it's not a waste of money if you learn from it. Like you got to take away the lessons and just continue to move on and have faith that things are going to work out, because they usually will. Yeah.
So you've kind of been all over the world.
Yeah.
So how has that impacted the business, and how have you been able to operate kind of all over?
I'm glad you bring that up. It's one of like the favorite things of this business. My favorite experiences has been like while I was studying abroad in Europe, finding time to work on our, like I built our whole e-commerce site while I was abroad, and finding time to work on that is like, it really gave me the perspective that running a business full time while traveling is possible. And so that's always been a dream of mine, but sort of having that validation of doing that was something that I definitely needed, and gained a lot of faith while doing that. But like I was in Nashville last summer, like I said, doing an internship down there, was at school for 4 years, sort of figuring it out and going back and forth. And it's been interesting, but it's opened my eyes to a lot, and sort of seeing like how people interact and what people are looking for, and not even directly tied to the business, but like just life lessons and things you would never really get here in the US that I picked up abroad, whether it's in like a country like Switzerland or Morocco in Africa. Like it gives you a much more global perspective, and maybe I can't see like how it directly ties to the success that I've had recently, but I'm pretty confident that had I not had those experiences, I probably wouldn't be in the place that I'm in today. So very grateful for all that. I highly would recommend anyone who's thinking about studying abroad, like go and travel and see it all, because it's well worth it.
Where were those places that you traveled to?
Morocco, Switzerland. I was studying in Milan, Italy was my home base. So we hit like all the Italian cities: Venice, Florence, Verona, Rome, Naples. Spent time in Barcelona with my buddies who were studying in Spain, Copenhagen, and there's a few more that I'm forgetting. But over the course of like 3.5 months, I think we went to 9 countries or something. Wow. During that study abroad.
Is Denmark in that area?
Yeah, Copenhagen's in Denmark.
Okay,
so we were up there for a weekend, and yeah.
What was Denmark like?
Cold. I went probably too early. I went in like late February, I think, when it was still snowy. So I got off the plane, and in Europe you walk off the plane down the stairs onto the runway. Like they don't have the jetways and stuff really, and it was just pouring snow like the whole time. But it's very cool. Like it's just different, like different ways of life. You don't have like massive malls and stuff. Everything's much more local and like smaller streets, and not knowing the language is also very weird. But a lot of people still speak English for the most part. So
is there something about McDonald's in Switzerland?
Yeah, I think I talk about that in like the sort of our story blog that I put out recently, and like that memory just sticks out very specifically because like it was a rainy day in Switzerland. My friends had just taken their plane back to Spain, and I was alone, and I had a computer, I had Wi-Fi, and I had like a chair in a McDonald's where I just locked in for like 3-4 hours, and like being able to do that anywhere in the world, I think is so cool, and very like blessed to be living in this time period where that's a realistic opportunity for a lot of people. I think back in the day, like you couldn't even fathom doing something like that, but now literally all you need is internet connection, a computer, and somewhere to sit. And like same thing, I was in a beach in the south of France, like right near Monaco in Nice, France, and we were just like, we're right on the boardwalk at this restaurant having a couple like appetizers, and I've got my computer just doing work on a 75 and sunny day. Like it's crazy how that stuff works, but it's definitely a possibility. I think more people should.
It's interesting because like it seems like just like the most simplest thing brings you some gratification.
Exactly, so much joy. Like that is, if you think my happy place, like it's probably pretty close to that. It's either on a golf course or somewhere like that where it's just like I can work and it doesn't even feel like work because I enjoy doing it.
Yeah. Speaking of like just being grateful for the little things, like what does your life look like outside of work? What are your other hobbies? And
it's a lot of golf. I like when it's warm out, I try and golf all the time. But it's going to be a change now too, coming home from college.
Right.
And my last 4 years have been in like this bubble of just a bunch of people my age hanging out with my friends all the time, like living with 3 of my closest friends and having a bunch of my other closest friends a floor above me or a floor below me in the dorms or in the same apartment building. So definitely going to be an interesting change as that comes around and I start to settle into this routine a little bit more. But
Are you living back at home right now?
Yeah. So all of our warehouse and everything is in my basement, which is
Nice.
kind of crazy. But definitely looking at some warehouse space, maybe getting out of Minnesota at some point. Just because I like, there's so much to see, and I'd feel guilty if I just stayed here and didn't try and move somewhere else and get some new experiences or meet new people. So
Yeah.
potentially looking at finding like a warehouse, an apartment in Austin or going back to Nashville. I love Nashville.
Wow.
Great city. But
Yeah, kind of speaking on that, what do the next couple years, 2 to 5 years, look like for the brand and yourself?
I think I don't have a great answer. A lot of people sort of ask me that, like obviously graduating college and not having a full-time job. I think a lot of people are surprised by, or like they're like, oh, how are you doing that? Like what are you gonna do in 2 years? And I just have a belief that like you can't try and plan things that far out. You sort of just got to do the right thing and take it one step at a time. And going back to what we were talking about earlier, like if you do the things that you know work, even if you don't see the success immediately, having the belief that things will work out and opportunities will come up and things will happen that you could have never even foreseen. Like I never would have thought we would have gotten a deal with the PGA. I never thought we would have been working with Liv. Like those were never in my plan. But I just like I think if you have the belief that things are gonna work out, they will. And so continuing to do what I've been doing with Pin Hunters and building relationships and hoping to expand into e-commerce a bit over the next 12 months, really build a foundation there, because it's something that I just haven't had the time to do.
Yeah.
Like working on this while being a college student and doing internships and stuff. Like I've had to really be smart and picky and choosy about where I put my time. And for me, that has been the business to business side of things for the most part. But B2C is a massive, massive industry, and tons of opportunity is there. So I think that's where you'll see hopefully the largest amount of growth from us in the next 2-3 years, as I sort of figure out that and learn that whole thing. But it's like starting from scratch. Like you learn this whole manufacturing side of things, then you learn how to work on the business to business side, working with courses and country clubs and events, and then you got to go back and start from zero and learn how to create content and run ads and sell on e-commerce. Like it's a wild ride, but I think we'll figure it out.
Yeah. So doubling down on e-com.
Probably
Next
so.
level, yeah.
Probably so. While still focusing, like I don't ever think we'll be an e-com first brand.
Yeah.
There's just in the golf industry, having in-person like relationships and on the wholesale side of things is a great spot to be, because there's consistency there. But again, e-commerce, the ceiling's probably a lot higher there.
Yeah.
Any opportunities for like sponsored athletes or anything? Is that a point that you would want to get to?
Certainly. I think with the whole NIL stuff, that's definitely a spot I'll start to look at more as we grow on e-commerce, and maybe even getting into licensing with some schools, probably starting at the D3 level with some of the local like underserved colleges, where they don't have the big licensing agreements with Fanatics or people like that, and trying to sort of build a base of strong fans through the smaller D2, D3 schools that, I mean, Minnesota has a ton of, so it's a great place to start. And then maybe working to expand into some bigger partnerships with bigger schools or bigger athletes. But that's all future scope stuff. I think there's a long way to go with where we are currently and playing in the sort of realm that we're in right now. And I have a massive to-do list of things that I want to get done, and excited to start working on a lot of that.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
And how do you see AI being implemented in the next couple of years, or even right now?
It's very interesting. I use AI a bunch in like my day-to-day operations, I have no idea how to write code or anything, but I've had ChatGPT and things like that sort of write these automations and scripts and things that have allowed me to be able to run this business as just me. Like my family helps me out a bunch and stuff as well, but it takes away a lot of the tedious work and the manual, like making sure things are in order in terms of order flow and invoicing and all that stuff. I've been able to automate a ton of it, which has been super cool. In terms of AI on like the content creation side and all that, it seems like the Wild West right now. Like I've seen people doing it with like AI UGC and all these sort of different creative ways of using it, and it's not really stuff that I've gotten into myself personally too much, but I need to learn a lot more about it because I think there's tons and tons of opportunity there.
Yeah.
Have you guys gotten into that much?
Yeah, we actually do, me personally too, just a lot of like AI implementation into content. Especially with e-commerce, a lot of it is just recording the product is really all we have to do. And then we even have like AI voiceovers.
Okay.
AI editing is kind of up in the air.
Yeah.
It's kind of still not really there, but overseas editors typically can do, but it's just the management of them.
Yeah.
I was testing out an AI feature on a website called Artlist.
Yeah.
And they only gave me like 1 credit. So I only got 1 shot to do it. So otherwise it's like 500. You got to pay like $500 a year for it, I think, on top of what I'm already paying for it. So anyway, but you would type in a prompt like tiger sitting on a cloud or something. And then it gives you an image, and then you type what you want that image to animate into. So you'd be like fire coming out of the tiger's mouth, and it would actually like create something sick like that. So that's something where like I could have used it, but
yeah, the image editing stuff is getting crazy. I use Canva quite a bit for like designs and mock-ups and stuff, and like the host of tools that they have, whether it's just like simple background removing or some more complex stuff that they're getting into now, like it's incredibly useful and saves me so much time.
And this like AI generated images can almost be better looking than your product.
Yeah.
You can make like an AI version.
Yeah.
although I do think that's a negative. I think that's an ultimate negative.
Yeah.
Because you want to be able to be authentic.
Yeah.
And if your image is AI,
Yeah.
I just think your customers are going to see that and be like, "Whoa, why is it like fake?
Yeah.
What are you faking here?"
Yep. Yeah, I think
there's
there's a very fine line there of like using it to create like I created these little bobbleheads, like clay bobbleheads that were wearing our hats and stuff.
Like that's
and
fun.
like I
that's
think
fun.
that's a good way to do it. But if you're like doing pure product photos out of AI, I think you're gonna struggle there because the product people are seeing isn't gonna be the product they're getting.
And isn't there's some got to be like regulations?
I would assume, I don't know.
Like,
I mean, it's so new.
yeah.
Like, government's pretty slow with a lot of that stuff. So I'm sure it'll come, though. I mean, there's got to be some rules and stuff in place. But at the same time, I think the consumer, at the end of the day, like their voice is very important. And if they're getting a product that doesn't look like the one that they ordered, they're going to let you know, and you're going to get 1-star reviews, and you're not going to succeed like that for too long.
Yeah, dude, the future is just so crazy because we always talk about how 10 years ago it was broadcast, or maybe 15 years ago it was broadcast. Now it's turning into like the digital age where everything's on your phone. TikTok is right there. So it's just like looking at the next 10 or 15 years is just going to be something even crazier that we don't even understand.
We won't even know.
Yeah.
And then we're going to be the old heads looking at all this content.
Yeah, like education and the kids who are in middle school and high school right now, I can't imagine what that's like.
Yeah.
Like having access to ChatGPT, like it's gonna be weird.
You don't need to do math anymore. It's
Exactly. Yeah.
right there.
Gosh, it's gonna be.
Were you a good student in school?
I tried to be. I did pretty well. Solid GPA. But it was like tough being a senior and knowing that I was not going to be going into finance or real estate, which I was studying. And like the senior slouch or whatever they call it, like definitely is real, where you just like, you want to be on the golf course instead of your 1 o'clock class. And it's like, you got to balance it out still. And like going to college and as much of like the experience and stuff it is, you do learn a lot in the classes. And it's like, I don't regret studying finance and real estate at all, because those are things that like financially you can use for personal like investments and all that sort of stuff. And then on the real estate side too, like you're gonna have to buy a house one day, and I'd love to get into like real estate investing and the commercial side of things too. So I think the more like broad of a perspective you can have on all that stuff, it's always going to be better.
It's that growth mindset you're probably talking about.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because instead, I hear a lot of people say like, "Oh, fuck school, like it's worthless," but I think there is some value there.
Right.
I mean, as somebody who did go through 4 years, and I had this deep feeling that I didn't want to go the 9-to-5 route, and I didn't want to be hired by anybody. I wanted to create my own business. I still like saw the value in it, and built those connections. I think that's what was the most important part. Was the connections. Was there any connections that you built in Wisconsin that were valuable to you?
Certainly. So like all the friends and stuff that I met there have been like so supportive, and like they'll rock my hats everywhere and stuff, which is very cool. But even deeper than that, like being friends with driven, like-minded individuals, just it forces you to be better. And like you all sort of share ideas and build off of what everyone else is doing. Like not all my friends are entrepreneurs, but plenty of them are going into careers or pursuing things that are like so different than what I'm doing, but the drive and ambition that they have towards it, I still feel it and I still benefit from it. So I think like the social aspect of college is very important. At least it has been for me. Very grateful for the connections that I have made and the friends that I've met at UW for sure.
Lots of partying there, or no?
Good amount of partying.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a fun school. I mean, you're right in between two lakes. Like when it's warm there, it's the best place on earth.
Good times.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
What made you choose Wisconsin?
I liked that it was close enough to home, whereas like a 4.5 hour drive, but it wasn't like the U of M where you're 30 minutes away and can come home every weekend.
Yeah.
I was looking at Clemson in South Carolina pretty seriously, and they had a good business school, but when I eventually got into, like heard that I was accepted into Wisconsin School of Business, I pretty quickly decided that is where I wanted to go. I didn't grow up as like a Badger fan or anything. None of my family went there, but just visiting the campus and seeing like how fun it was, and like being in between two lakes, and the campus is like, you have a little downtown section that feels like you're in a city, and then you walk 15 minutes and it's like you're in like the vast like part of nature. You have a nice little lakeshore path along the lake, and a bunch of trees and a bunch of like sporting fields, like a lot of intramural sports were played. That's probably my favorite part.
That's cool.
Cool.
What's like a practical first step people could take to starting an e-commerce brand or like a product brand?
I think you need to have a vision of what you want to create. Like in the very simplest sense, like you got to have an idea of like, I want to do something in golf, or I want to do something related to like a faith-based apparel brand like you guys had on. Like there needs to be a purpose behind what you're doing, because if there's no purpose behind it, it's just going to be sort of all over the place, and you're not going to have like a sort of a guiding light that helps you make decisions and stuff. From like an operational perspective, finding a good manufacturer is huge. Like finding a consistent person who or business who is going to like be there when you need them to make the physical product that you're going to sell. Like that is by far and away the biggest operational thing, I think. We've never had a late order. We've like everything has been so solid, and working with a professional who knows what they're doing is huge.
And how did you get in contact with them, and then where are they based out of?
All of our products are sourced from China. So we use Alibaba, which is like a sourcing platform, to find all our manufacturers. We've got, I think, 5 or 6 different ones now with the different products and things that we're doing.
That's awesome.
But like the process that we did, and I'm sure folks have different ways of going about it. But what worked great for us at the start was just sort of casting a wide net, being like, hey, this is what we're looking for. Can you provide us with some samples? And then being really intentional during that period about like paying attention to who's good at communicating, who's on time, who's like doing what they're saying. Because like the language barrier and stuff, it can be tough if you're working with someone overseas who isn't like great at English or something like that. And then the time difference too is definitely an interesting part. There are times where I'll be up till like 2, 3, 4 a.m. just going back and forth with them because it's the middle of the workday over there. And you sort of got to meet them where they are. And like at the start, it's like you're sending a list of 10 questions and then they're responding with 10 answers, and then you're following up, and it's so like every day you can get like a few questions answered, but that's why you got to be up late and talk to them or get up early if that's your thing. I'm definitely not a morning person, but I prefer the late nights.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm hoping to visit China very soon, probably in the next 12 months or so, and do sort of like there's a huge fair actually in April that I would love to go to and check out new products and sort of see what's new over there, because like whether like people understand it or not, so much is made in China. And they're professionals at what they do. They're really good at manufacturing goods, and a lot of the new ideas and stuff, they're the ones who are creating them. And so a lot of that's on display at this fair in April. So hopefully gonna get over there, maybe visit Japan and Korea and just see it all while I'm there, because I've never done the Asia thing. I did Europe. That was my first time outside of the country, and absolutely loved that. So definitely want to check out Asia and do some more like Eastern European travel someday. But a lot of places I want to go, as I'm sure most people do. So
that's cool. What is that fair called?
The Canton Fair.
Canton Fair.
Yeah.
What does it cost?
I don't know. I haven't looked into that, but I'm sure it's like a daily pass or something. But it's massive. Like the photos and videos online, it's huge convention centers full of booths and different vendors and all this stuff.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I want to go across across the pond. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I just don't know how much it costs. Like, what's a realistic? Like, is it expensive?
Yeah. What is your expense?
I need some.
It depends how like. It's really up to you. Like you could stay at hostels for $12 every single night if you wanted to. It's not going to be like the most comfortable thing. But when I was in Portugal, we stayed 3 nights, I think, at a hostel that was €12 a night.
Wow.
And like you're in a room in a bunk bed with 5 or 6 other guys or like random travelers and stuff. But the culture is very like people are very open to that, and it's relatively safe. And,
cool. So is there like Airbnbs that you can rent?
Yeah, there's certainly Airbnbs, hotels. Like it just depends how much you want to spend and sort of what kind of experience you're looking to have.
Yeah,
but
sure.
I mean, even with like the group that I went abroad with, people had vastly different experiences based on where they were staying and what sort of activities they were willing to do and stuff. Like it sort of is what you make it, I would say.
That's awesome.
When you travel abroad, does the school pay for it all then, or?
No, we it's like a tuition thing. So like the parts of it are included, parts of it you have to pay for.
Right, because you're already paying that much in tuition anyway. So it's like how much of it is included and how much of it isn't.
It was different. Like I'm not paying like the standard UW tuition. It's like I wasn't there at like a Wisconsin school. It was a school where I was with like tons of other kids from Colorado and Indiana and all these different schools, and so it's a good mixture. But in terms of like the finances and stuff, it's like the flight's probably the biggest massive chunk when it comes to travel, and then in terms of hotels or like travel while you're in Europe, it's a lot of trains, and like you can do it pretty cheap if you're scrappy. And
I heard they got good wine over there.
Great wine, great food. That's what I miss the most. It's the food. Yeah.
Because it doesn't leave you. It doesn't have the red 40 in it.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
all
why.
that stuff
So thinking ahead of like for content wise, what are some hopes for you in terms of content? Like, what type of content do you want to?
I have a wild plan to do a series of playing golf in all 50 states, where I sort of maybe get a van or some sort of like camper or something, and sort of drive all around the U.S. and play golf in all 50 states, and sort of share the word of pin hunters and try and talk to the people at pro shops and courses and really get the name out there. TBD on the status of that, but I would love to do that. I think that would do really well, and it'd be super fun.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
So we'll see.
Is that like an episode per state or something?
Probably so.
Yeah.
Episode per course, maybe play a couple courses in some states, or I don't know. I think that'd be fun. I'm open to ideas though. I'm always open to ideas.
Live stream.
Yeah.
Non-stop live
Yeah,
stream.
the live stream.
TikTok shop live.
Yeah, right. Click the link.
That's a crazy world. I don't have TikTok anymore. I had to delete that. But that's a thing I struggle with. Like, I'm somewhat out of touch now with like the social media stuff, just because I'm not like on it all the time. And so then when it's like, I gotta create content now, it's like I don't know what's trending, like what people are watching, what's doing well, what's not. So I don't know. That's something I'm gonna need to sort of navigate. But we'll be all right.
It's cool.
I kind of struggle with that too sometimes. Like I know that I want to get off of TikTok, and it's like I catch myself doom scrolling. It's also like it's kind of like my job to create content for brands.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's just kind of finding that medium.
Right. Staying up.
I think it's all about just providing something valuable, like providing a valuable piece of content, because that's what I want to watch when I'm sitting down at the end of the night. I'm scrolling through. I want to watch something valuable, not what iShowSpeed is doing and wherever he's at, doing some random crap.
But people love that too somehow. You know, they're watching it.
That's you? Is that what you're watching?
I'm not watching it, but people are because he's rich. So
Yeah. You just got a new haircut. iShowSpeed just got a new haircut.
Did he get a haircut?
Yeah.
God, dang.
All right.
Cool. Yeah, we can wrap.
Yeah, man. Thank you for coming on, Matthew.
Thank you, guys.
It was a good conversation.
Yeah.
Lots of good pieces in there. Yep. All right, everybody. That's a wrap on episode, whatever this is, on the Rethink Podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you for Landsview letting us use your space. And we're out. Peace.